Hello, I'm Bill Hunt, a founder member of the Viol Consort Fretwork and artistic director of the Orlando Gibbons Project. We set this project up 2 years ago in order to make a first complete recording of the consort verse anthems of Orlando Gibbons. And we did it with a huge amount of help through crowdfunder donated by people like you. Since then, many people have said they want to hear more of this wonderful verse anthem repertoire. So we are here again, and we're asking for your help so that we can make a second recording next January. And this time, we want to look at the earlier part of the repertoire. Great composers such as William Byrd, John Bull and Thomas Morley. Taking part will be the same combination of 3 ensembles. Magdalena Consort, a specially selected group of some of the leading singers in the country, specializing in period style. His Majestys Sagbutts and Cornetts, the world-famous early wind ensemble, and of course, the Viol Consort Fretwork. We're trying to look at the music afresh and imagine it in the way that it might have been heard in its own time, rather than the way in which verse anthems may be familiar to people today, hearing them in a choral evensong in somewhere like a cathedral. I'm here in the beautiful and inspiring surroundings of a charter house in the City of London. And we came here a year ago to give the launch concert for our Gibbons CD. It preserves wonderful examples of the types of spaces where this music was probably performed. The great chamber, typical of the long gallery or large domestic room found in great houses of the period, and a perfect setting for a small consort of voices accompanied by a consort of viols. And the chapel of the charter house, typical of private chapels of the time, either domestic or at court, much more intimate than a public space of worship. Performing verse anthems in this kind of space gives you a real sense of how directly they can communicate with the listener. For example, we'll be performing Byrd's great Easter anthem, Christ Rising, set for voices and viols, a brilliant example of how the verse anthem introduces drama and rhetoric into the setting of sacred text. You'll be able to hear a rich variety of sonorities, such as the highly distinctive sound of a reconstructed Tudor organ, which we used to accompany the iconic early verse anthem, Thomas Morley's Out of the Deep. Cornetts and Sagbutts are a sonority which is still not usually associated with vocal music of this period in England, but we know from many records that they were used, especially for state occasions. We think that there is much more diversity of colour to be heard in this music than people might have imagined. Just look at this. Carvings from 1626 on a doorpost of a Charterhouse chapel showing lute, viol, treble cornet, tenor cornet, some kind of reed instrument, possibly a kirtle. That's not simply a decorative evocation of a psalm, but actual instruments of the period, which you might have heard playing the music that we're presenting, and you'll hear many of them on this CD. Needless to say, with such an ambitious programme, this is a very expensive project, just as our Gibbons CD was, involving some 26 singers and players. We really need your help to reach our target and make this all possible. So please support us. Thanks very much.